All right, here we go. We got Frizzler, who is 18 wins currently with Wayland and Gabe, and we've got Brogue Leader, which is 15 wins currently with Wayland and Gabe. So they're going to be warring it out in the last round of the tournament. And one second. They're going to be warring it out in this last round of the tournament to see if Frizzler can't hold his top seat. We also have Cyberdak in the mix with 15 wins as well. He's playing another opponent this week, so Frizzler appears to need to, I believe, at least split to maintain his victory here. So to maintain his first place. So we're going to see what happens here. And Brogue Leader also, if he can somehow sweep, probably, I believe, might take it as well. So we've got a three-way kind of competition for the final seat here, and we'll see what's going to happen. All right, so let me zoom in a little bit, get this a lot bigger for everybody. We've got Brogue Leader playing Wayland first here today, and Frizzler Gabe. All right, we're starting out with a hedge fund and an ice and a beanstalk royalties. So we're up 14 credits, which putting Brogue Leader in a great position to be able to kind of put that pressure on Frizzler to see if he's going to be interested in running and taking a chance that sea scorched is in hand. That is always the threat, and so that always starts out kind of rough for the runner, but Frizzler's already in a great place with that crash space. Again, the key to Wayland is crash space and 5 cards and make decent decisions here. There is still a way you can got with a crash space and 5 cards, but as long as you're playing smart, it's not much of one. So we're running headquarters. Let's see what we got. We got a snare off the rip. Wow, this is bad. We've got a successful run and a 0 cards in hand situation right now, and a tag, which means if Brogue Leader has a sea scorched in hand, this game is over. This game is over. And let's see. Well, actually, a sea scorched will not get it done because he's only got 10 credits, which means he didn't have enough. He's got his money back up. So yeah, I take that back. There was no threat there. He only had 1 more credit than Frizzler, which means he would have not been able to see him and then have enough to scorch him for 3. So we're back up to 3 cards, taking the whole turn to get back up to card hand size, which I think is definitely a good choice by Frizzler there. Brogue Leader has definitely gotten off to a pretty decent start for this matchup. But he's now got to work through and get something going for him, either get the sea scorched in hand or start pushing agendas. That's a 1 advancement. He's either got the scorched in hand and he's just looking to, which actually wouldn't be enough with the crash space and 4 cards. So that's more than likely a private security force. Okay, or a ghost branch. It could be a ghost branch, Junebug, aggressive secretary, which wouldn't do him much good at this point. We've got an ice wall, which means he will have to install a corridor to get through there, or inside job, which, if that's an aggressive secretary, wouldn't do much for him as far as getting rid of programs, which is a great way to get ahead in original core. Trashing programs is obviously vital so often for a corp win. So in the core set here, a card pool that we're playing. All right, drawing a card. Running headquarters, doing a quick face check here with a click to protect against. Oh, is this another snare? Scorched Earth. All right, so he's got the kill in hand. He needs the combo to be able to get it done. I have a feeling that might be a posted bounty, and Brogue Leader was hoping that he could get Frizzler below 4 cards so he could trash the crash base and scorch him for the win. I was wrong. It is a private security force, as I mentioned previously. All right, the data sucker ends up killing the ice wall, so we're currently at 3-0 on agendas. Brogue Leader's definitely got 10 in a good place with 10 credits and the ability to be able to possibly move forward with another advancement. He is hurting on hand size here, so he's got a Scorched in Hand and a Beanstalk Royalties, which isn't going to get him moving forward with ice protection or kill and agenda pushing. So he's definitely got to get something going here soon. Probably spending next turn drawing at least once, if not twice, on their turn, and then possibly popping out that Beanstalk Royalties to keep the money up. So Frizzler's still doing great with his money situation here. Not a lot of ahead by 1, but keeping that money up, even though he's had a few setbacks, is a great place to be as the runner in this matchup here. Not sure what's on that headquarters. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an archer, due to the fact that he's got the hostile takeover, but Frizzler has no breakers out as of yet, and he probably doesn't want to waste that archer on nothing but an end run and 2 credits. So we've got a Desperado, so now Frizzler's going to start making money on his runs. Then we've got a ice on R&D and server 3. Frizzler obviously working through that deck some, is probably getting close to having an inside job, so Brogue Leader's definitely going to have to keep an eye out for that if he tries to install anything inside of the head server 3 there. Let's see what we got. So he's still got a Beanstalk Royalty and a Scorched Earth in hand, but Frizzler just got his $3 from Gabe's ability and the Desperado. Running R&D with 12 credits. Data Raven. I think he probably goes ahead and ends run here. He doesn't have a sentry to break, even though he does have them. Yeah, he takes the tag. That makes sense. Well, yeah, and then he's going to do the trace, which he's got the money, so the trace isn't an issue with him having 12 to Brogue Leader's 6 with a bad publicity to have a free credit there. Going on through, and we're dealing with a not sure here. It's R&D obviously. All right, clearing. I'm assuming he's going to remember to clear the tag. He does. He gained, paid 2 to do that. He's got 1 click left here. Draws a card, get that hand size up to 5 with Crash Space, a great place to be. Currently, Brogue Leader has a little going with him, low on money. I do believe he still has that Beanstalk Royalty. He might have played it and I missed it. There goes the Beanstalk for $4, and he ended up drawing some cards. It looks like drawing 2 cards and a Beanstalk Royalty, which means he's got some stuff going on. Again, I believe that's an archer due to the fact that it is, or it could be a Rototurret or an archer, based on the fact that he's not resin that with no programs out for Frizzler. We got a bank job. Will he res that ice to keep bank job from getting 8 money? That is a tough situation there. Depending if the ice is something cheap like an ice wall, I guess you could, but you're also giving away your position, right? You got to be careful with that. If you're really looking to spring this ice at the right time, whenever you're trying to push in a, oh my goodness, he just ran an archer there. That is a tough call, and he's got to watch out because Frizzler's obviously running parasites there, which he can start to chip away at that. He basically gained $2 after he spent 4 in an agenda, gained 2 back, and ended the run. That is a tough archer to push out there. Now, I guess a reasonable strategy here could be having another archer using that prize sec as well, and actually killing some programs and keeping them out long enough that you would be able to posted bounties, scorched earth. I've never thought about that after all the games I've played. I might have previously, but kind of forgot about it just getting into all the mini games I played with Waylon. It started to all kind of mesh together, and I started losing a lot. I feel like there was some reason for that, because I had just seen the deck so many times. I wasn't thinking clearly like I was at first with it, and I talked to some other people and they've had that challenge as well. So but I don't think Brogue Leader and Frizzler have that issue, because they've really been doing relatively well with their corp deck from what I can see from their wins in this tournament here. So more power to them. I'm definitely looking to see what they're up to. All right, we have a run here on headquarters. Once again, no res, a priority wreck. All right, now we've got 2-3 with Frizzler in the lead. This is getting this is going to be a lot tougher. I'm sure Brogue Leader's thinking, dang it, I needed to install advance that next turn. That was probably his next move. Now he's got an ice on server 3 to get rid of the inside job, if that's anything but a if that's ice wall or something cheap that he can res and then have that archer do his bidding, he would have been in a great place. Unfortunately, Frizzler was able to get in there and scoop that 3-point agenda, so I can pretty much just about guarantee you that was Brogue Leader's next play, and he kind of got screwed over there by a lucky draw 1 and 3. I wouldn't call it super lucky, but it's definitely, you need them to, a lot of times when you need them to draw those other cards, when you need them to draw that one, any other card except for the one you need, that's when they draw it, right? So I've been there many a times. All right, we got a hunter here. It's not gonna do much, but it's definitely gonna cost Frizzler $3 unless he wants to use a click and crash base for free. It's either $3 or a click at this point. Pretty much he has to make that decision, because crash base goes ahead and takes care of the cost of removing the tag. So he chooses to use a click instead of $3, and I think that might be a reasonable trade-off, especially in a game where you don't want to get behind on credits because of C-Source. All right, are we going to get a res here yet? I don't think so. And we haven't even seen an account siphon yet. We haven't even seen one account siphon. So we'll have to see if that's going to be coming soon now that hunter's out of the way. So he accessed a wall of static and gained $3 for that run. He lost, and he didn't even lose 3 because he chose to take the tag. So he lost the click and gained, saw a card and gained $3. So that's a pretty good run there. All right. Frizzler with 1 click left. Got a hand size of 6 here. There we go. Activation order, forged activation order. Phenomenal card. I run 3 of them in my deck just so I can, see what ice is, right? It's good for that, but it's also good for making them spend that money when they're down. Frizzler wished he probably could have got something a little bit more expensive, but nevertheless, he knows he's sitting on 2 sentries on that remote server. One of them is basically means nothing to him, except for the fact that he can't use an inside job to get past that archer, which is pretty tough, because he's probably running, if he is running a mimic, then or a ninja. If he's running a mimic or a ninja, he's either got to get the mimic up to strength to deal with archer, which is 3 data sucker tokens, or he's got to go spend a lot of money for fems or ninjas to get through that archer. So that server 3 is looking pretty good. I'm pretty sure we've got a money card here, an econ card, probably. I doubt an Adonis Suite, but it could be. Maybe actually a Melange Mining Corp or a Pad Campaign. Melange Mining Corp would be the best scenario here to go ahead and get $7, but at the same time you're using a whole click, a turn, and kind of hurting your tempo. So I'm very interested to see what that card is. And Frizzler continues to utilize the face checking method and pretty much running this whole game without any programs to really flesh out and make Brogue Leader spend the money and to res all his ice so he can really see what the puzzle is, right? Seeing that puzzle, seeing this ice allows for Frizzler to know exactly what breakers he needs, exactly what money he needs, which is a great situation moving into the, I'd say we're getting into the latter part of the mid game here. Although some would suggest if there's ice out that haven't been rezzed, then you're still in the beginning game. But I think we're probably getting, maybe we might be just getting into the mid game. So we've got a pad campaign, like I said. The corpse definitely, actually the corpse still kind of broke and still got an ice to res, so he's looking at, we're probably coming into the mid game, but it's not a good mid game for Brogue Leader at this point, being broke. Frizzler's got the money, he's got the protection against the scorched earth, he's got ways to keep on getting money. This game, I've seen this a billion times, and Brogue Leader might be a better player than me and know something, but I could just about tell you where this game's going already. Been around playing tons of original core games, but I'm not going to count Brogue Leader out yet. Here's a reason why he's up in the top 3 here. And I'm hoping to see some magic, because I've been getting crushed with my Wayland deck for months now after an initial successful run with it, and I am just frustrated with it, and I'm always just rooting for my my Wayland deck to come through and do its job once. But now, as you can see, we've got a ton of ice already out on Wayland, and they only have so much ice. And now smart move by Frizzler to just start chipping away at headquarter with the sneak door beta. He gains 3 the first time he goes in, 1 all additional, and he gets to see any cards he wants. Let's take a look at archives. I mean, he gets to look at 1 card each run, obviously. So a couple of ice in the bin too, so we're dealing with multiple ice in the bin, and we've already got 6 ice out, so that's 8 of Brogue Leader's probably maybe around 15ish ice in his deck, so he doesn't have a whole lot more than likely to play with here. We did get archives iced up, so Frizzler was able to get 1 turn out of that. I'll be interested in what that ice is. Install a card, so we got a card installed in server 3, and I think that's a pretty I won't say safe bet, because I forgot about that, you can throw that fem down on that archer there, and it's still going to run you 4 at a time to get through. But at this point, you can just about get your money other ways and then camp out on that remote server where you're at with Frizzler, right? So I'm thinking, since he didn't advance that's more than likely either it could be a trap, could be a snare here to kind of get him to run through, make him play aggressive. But I'm more thinking it's probably a Melange Mining Corp. And wow, we got Frizzler, the number 1 current player in this tournament, running a Crypsis, which I think is not a good card, but he's about to prove me wrong once again by running cards that I find to be highly ineffective for my play style, and showing how it's done. So he throws out the Crypsis to basically protect himself from the possibility that this ice could be something that damages his current rig situation, and it ends up being a hunter. So he just goes ahead and pays that trace, gets in to headquarters, I think for $3, gains $3, and sees an Enigma. So at this point, Frizzler's wide open again for headquarters, all he wants. Alright, like I said, a Melange Mining Corp. The Melange Mining Corps can really help with that monetary situation. However, they do set you back a whole turn just wasted, as the runner continues just to run through and beast mode headquarters and have his way. So we'll see what's going to happen this turn. That's some grade A commentary right there. We're going to see what happens this turn, obviously, right? So that's just the way it is sometimes. All right, Frizzler thinking about his turn, probably mapping it out. That's what good players do. I'm not always as good as what I should be at kind of mapping out that turn, but a good player, as I've been told, will identify his turn, and if he's got any clicks left, he's going to use that to probably draw first before he does anything else. That way you see more of that information, right? This game's all about seeing more information to make the best decision. If you planned out 3 clicks, you run 3 clicks, and then you're like, oh, what else do I do? Draw a card. That if you would have drew that card first, you could see probably something quite possibly quite helpful for you in your plan, like a forced activation that forces him to res that ice out there on headquarters that he has not res this whole game. So my question is it an archer or is it a toll booth? It is a trash card. Oh, I'm so interested in knowing what that ice is right now. It's so bad. It's so bad how if I was playing this game, I would run archives just to see what the heck that ice was. Just about. I'd be like, I'd have such a desire to know. But, obviously I would try and fight that to make the best possible move for this turn here. So we'll see what Frizzler does with that information. He's basically got a wide open headquarters. Cost him a click to clear the tag. While he gains $3, he can go through either archives or headquarters with the same effect. However, Account Siphon would offer him substantial benefit to breaking Brogue Leader, getting $3 from Gabe and Desperado, as well as the money from So we're going Fem on the Archer, which is about the only ice that actually matters at this point, and that just turned into a 4 credit situation. However, Frizzler did drop down to 8 credits. So does Frizzler end up running this using the bank job and then running it again to knock out that server, which actually he wouldn't be able to do that necessarily due to the hunter causing him 2 clicks needing to be used to remove tags unless he pays the tags, which ends up equaling 3. Actually, Brogue Leader could use all his credits, even though I doubt he would, to raise the trace. But that would be 3 credits if he doesn't raise the trace for Hunter, and then 4 for the Archer, which is 7, only to make 1 credit back from Bank Job. So there's really no real value in running Bank Job at this point. He could, I guess he could run the pad campaign over there for 3-4 money, and a counter off of Crypsis is a possibility. That's another option, but then you're looking at 4 credits and a counter off of Crypsis for $4. Is it really worth it? Oh, I guess 5 because you got Desperado. That's a good point. But I would you got to get rid of the melange, right? So if he spends all his money to get through there, 7, then yeah, I would pretty much just build up and let him have that melange for another turn. I do believe that's a really good server for melange. It's quite pricey for him to get through if he wants to trash it. That's an impressive move by Brogue Leader. Now we've got a situation where Brogue Leader's back in the game with a C source. This is about the best, man. I'm sorry for doubting you earlier, Brogue Leader. This is about the best case scenario at this state in the game with a Wayland deck, because usually they need to win early. And Brogue Leader's got a great situation going on. The one thing that could probably set him back is a Account Siphon, which I assume should be coming soon. If Frizzler, I'm pretty sure would be running 3 Account Siphons in this deck, and he's about halfway through his deck at this point. So let's see what happens here, though. This is actually a really good game. That's why they're ahead of me. There it goes, the Account Siphon, right, being ran just like I said. Frizzler will let him fire. Does he spend the 3, or does he just say, I think I'm wanting to say, does he take the tag here? Does he spend the 3? I'd almost spend the 3 because it's really only 2, and he's going to get 3 back from his ability and his Desperado. So otherwise you're going to have to spend 3 clicks to clear all the tags instead of 2 and having the ability to go do something else. Oh, really? Brogue Leader pays 7 to increase the trace strength. Now I would be in the position where I'd probably just let that bad boy fire, but I'm not in the top 3. Yep, just like I said, he let that fire. He took the tag, so he'll spend the rest of his turn clearing tags and spending 3 clicks, $4 off of what he makes here, which is 3 plus 10. That's 13 credits, and he'll spend 4 of them, so he netted 9 credits and 9 credits for basically 4 clicks there, which I think's pretty decent. I think that's a pretty decent money making. I might be wrong. I might be doing the math wrong. Oh, but the other thing is the 5 credit swing off of Brogue Leader, once again putting him back underneath, so Seasource just fell off the table once again, right? And now Frizzler has the money he needs to address server 3 and still have some left over if he so chooses. Now, Brogue Leader just uses Melange Mining Corp again. He's really holding this out here. He is trashing cards into archives, and I know from experience, a lot of times when you're trying to hang on to that kill combo, you're ending up thinking, what am I gonna trash? And in the Wayland deck, you're dealing with running 5 1-pointers agendas, as well as multiple 2s and multiple 3s, which means you're dealing with a lot of agendas in hand, which is really easy to get agenda flooded. At this point, if I was Frizzler, I'd want to go, okay, well, you can also do that. I guess you can go ahead and account siphon and keep playing this game. But once again, I think Frizzler is going to, does he spend 7 again? No, he pays 0 this time. He's going to only have to spend, I would spend the 3 credits here, does he? Yes, he does. He spends the 3 credits. He rolls through, and he ends up netting another. This time he'll net 2. I ain't even gonna do the math here. He basically gained $13 minus the 3 spent on Hunter, and then minus the 2, so he gained $8 this time for 3 clicks, and also took Brogue Leader down 5, so that's pretty good. He's up to 30 credits. Brogue Leader's at 10. He's got 2 clicks. Oh, he's running before he ends up clearing the tags. I guess there's no penalty for that unless Brogue Leader raised it, and even if he did, I think he'd still be all right there monetarily. All right, there we go. And a trash. Melange Mining Corp out of the equation. Brogue Leader sitting on 10. Frizzler at 20 credits after he clears the tags. So Frizzler playing the money game at this point. Brogue Leader, oh wow, man, Brogue Leader keeps on finding those money cards. Quite impressive what he's done so far, and now he's beefed up that server 3 once again. If he can hold off any agendas being stole from headquarters or R&D this turn, he's looking and not getting, well, account siphon still leaves him at 10. He's in a great place. Well, I won't say great place. That it's going to cost him $7 to get through, and who knows what's on the top card there, but it's going to cost him a lot of money, Frizzler that is, but that server is more than likely still accessible due to the Crypsis there. Okay, he's going headquarters. Will he take the tag here? I think he probably takes the tag on this one because he thinks 3 credits is worth a click. Nope, he pays it this time. So he's up. He's feeling good about situation. It's actually 2 credits because of the bad publicity he's got. He finds a Ghost Branch. That's a great one to trash because I have a feeling Brogue Leader was probably about to double advance that in hopes that Frizzler doesn't have any infiltrations. I wouldn't be surprised. I really like having those infiltrations in there in my Gabe deck, but I would be interested in knowing if Frizzler was running any at all. All right, just gaining some money, just kind of, it looks like he's just kind of waiting out that remote server. He feels like he can probably just camp that server, check HQ, keep messing with stuff. All right, we got a double advance here in server 3. That let's see if we got an infiltration here, because that really smells like a trap. Boom, what I call it. I'm telling you, you keep those things back. There's just about, especially at this point in the game, you keeping those infiltration back, you can pretty much pull all their bluffs, and they're left with nothing left to do on the corpse side. So now Frizzler might spend a lot of money here is the only problem, but for that first card to be any kind of count, if that's a toll booth, that would be so nasty. So nasty, because you're talking about paying for that toll booth with a Crypsis, or jacking out and losing $3 and having to get something out on the board to deal with that. If he's running Yogg, obviously he's got to get a data sucker out there and start getting some tokens on it as well. So my guess, he might not be running Yoggs at all or data sucker. He could potentially be running, I run a Gordian Blade in mine because I don't like to necessarily rely on data sucker all the time. He could be running a Gordian Blade, but I'm interested. Oh, there's the move right there. Well played. I forgot about my beautiful inside jobs. That just pretty much dealt with Brogue Leader's ice there. If it's I wish I knew what that ice was too. Okay, an Enigma. Might as well res that for that cost there. Now he's got to deal with these two and spend at least $7 on this. 6 with the bad publicity, and then 1 back with Desperado, so it's really a 5 credit run, which ain't bad for a priority requisition there. I assure you, I'll pay 5 for a pri rec any day. All right, breaking on through. Yeah, now I'm feeling a lot better about my previous predictions of this one kind of being a wrap here. But again, I don't count out Brogue Leader. I've been in this situation many a times where ultimately, even without an inside job, Frizzler's looking at paying 4 clicks unless he ran on the last click. He's looking at paying 4 or 3 clicks for the Enigma. Credits, 3 credits for the Hunter. And then he's looking at paying 4 for the Archer. So you're not really looking at a real expensive server for him with the bad publicity and the Desperado back at the end here. So last turn we had just a straight up what appeared to be a couple of draws and a beanstalk royalties here to get the money back up to 16. One thing I'll say about Brogue Leader is his economy has came out well in this game, which is what's kept him in the game as long as he has. He's definitely had good money, even with 2 account siphons firing off, and so Frizzler, while not too concerned about it because he's mostly stayed up the whole game on him, has to still deal with not just being able to run around just how he wants. He's still got to play smart and keep his game up. Alright, Scorched Earth from headquarters, still hanging on to that Scorched Earth. I know I hang on to it too, but a lot of times there's a moment in the game where you realize the kill option is pretty much a wrap here. But I'm telling you, the worst stuff has happened. You would definitely need to catch him with like an aggressive secretary at this point to get rid of that fem would really help you. Something like that, because okay, he's actually going and checking archives, so I can finally find out what this card is. What was that ice there? I hope there's not more than one. It was either an Archer or a Hadrian's Wall. It was probably a stinking Hadrian's Wall, but yeah, because he trashed it. He wasn't spending 10 on that. He might have rezzed that Archer in front of that. That would have been actually pretty, locked that down pretty good with his private security force. Isn't that much of a loss. So I have a feeling he just threw that Hadrian Wall as a bluff and hoping to pull out a pri rec to be able to res that, and it just never came to fruition there. All right. We got a hostile takeover there for $7, so well, really 5 after you deal with the credits and all, and it's really not that much because you got click send credits. You got to keep. I hate that I keep on talking about this stuff out loud here. I'm just thinking about the economics more and more these days. as I'm working through stuff and really figuring out just how efficient stuff is, right? I mean, you get a point, you have to spend an install, you spend 3 clicks and 2 credits to gain 5 money and an agenda point. It's not as good as what it looks on paper until you do the math, right? But it's Hostile Takeover, still one of my favorite agendas, and offers you that archer for cheap, so, and gives you some money too. All right. And we saw a Scorched Earth. So either he's running multiple Scorched Earth, or he's got hitting the same card over and over again there in headquarters. So Brogue Leader's got good money. We're actually tied on money once again. We got a Deja Vu coming out. What's he going to pull back? An Account Siphon or a Parasite? Very interesting. Is he dropping the Parasite on the Data Raven? I wonder. Oh, he's doing a medium. He's got a medium as well. Forgot about that. So we're going Parasite. He's out of MU, so he would have to drop the Sneak Door Beta, which at this point isn't really a problem. And I have a feeling Brogue Leader's pretty much out of ice. So holding off on installing that medium keeps Brogue Leader having to make a decision. Does he put more ice out there and get rid of more ice that he might be able to use to protect whichever server, be able to protect headquarters if Sneak Door goes away, and where does he put it? Things like that. It keeps him having to guess that decision there, I think, a little bit. We've got to archive memories to add a snare back to headquarters. All right, we are calling a little bit of a bluff here for Frizzler. He's got to make a decision. Does he run in there and take that chance or not? Then we got to install the server 3. That could actually be a posted bounty, which isn't going to do much for you. It'll give you a point, put you at 4, and then you're hoping for a Pry-Rec to finish off the game. Or it could also be another Melange Mining Corp. But he just did a great job with that bluff there. I think we're looking at the possibility that Frizzler's looking to go heavy R&D here shortly. Pretty tough situations, I'd say, for Brogue Leader still, but he's playing some stuff. I got to give him credit. He is hanging in here quite well. I would already gave up and just been totally defeated, and that shows my inability to adapt and overcome well whenever I've just been getting crushed and maybe changing out a few cards I probably need to. I see he's added the archived memories and to offer him to get some cards back, which is definitely a good move for wanting, let's say if you use a C-Source, if you had the money to trash a crash space, right? And then you could use the archives to potentially get that card back if you really needed to pull off another C-Score to pull off your Scorched Earths. So Frizzler just spends a click to gain 4 credits. Very interesting. Keeps his money up, turns it over to Brogue Leader. All right. All right, Brogue Leader is going to, what did we do here? Brogue Leader puts the ice on R&D and then gains $2. Now, if we got another forged activation orders to res that, I would hate to use an infiltration on it. Frizzler's just gaining $4 here. He's just like, do something. He feels like he's got in a great place just to wait Brogue Leader out until he advances a card in server 3. There's not a lot going on here. So he just trashed a card out of server 3. Might have been that snare there. Yeah, Frizzler's at a place where he's like, all you could do is double advance a posted bounty, which might let you trash that crash space there. But other than that, you're not going to be able to do much. So you're going to have to call my bluff and actually advance something in server 3, which is a great way to play once you get into this situation in the game and in core set, because there's really nothing he can do without advancing cards, right? So Frizzler's just like, come on, I'm going to slow, just earn money. And It's definitely, and just wait for that parasite to die as well, honestly. Very interesting strategy. Now we've got that card gone, and Brogue Leader trashes a card from R&D to install another one. And then he clicks for 2 credits just to keep his money up with Brogue Leader. It's very, very interesting. Alright, Frizzler. Does Frizzler just gain 4 again? I have no idea what that server 3 could be at this point. Are we looking at... We're obviously looking at protecting R&D. So Brogue Leader is probably ready to pounce with an archer. Is this an archer here? No, a data raven. We got another data raven. And that would be a little pricey for Frizzler there to break. He's going to spend 4 to get it up to strength, and then 1 to break it. He chooses to take the tag, and now he's indicating the fire. He's basically saying, I'll beat the trace. The trace is 3 credits. Brogue Leader doesn't increase. And Brogue Leader has no further action. Sees a card there. Clears the tag for free. Gains a buck from Desperado. Do we install the medium now and get to going? It's still a pricey prospect there to run a data raven over and over again. You're dealing with a click and 3 credits every time, which I guess that's not the end of the world, but still, it's not as efficient to be able just to run a medium for 4 turns and stack on the counters, even though there's not a whole lot of cards left here. A Frizzler could easily install the medium over the sneak door beta next turn and run probably, I think, run at least 1 time, and then start running twice a turn and stacking those virus counters. Alright, so we got the Melange Mining Corp gaining a buck. Brogue Leader felt like he had to protect R&D with that data raven before he moved to spend a whole turn on Melange Mining Corp, which I think's a smart move at this point, knowing that medium's in Frizzler's hand. So now, actually, unless this is dealt with, Brogue Leader could see himself having more money than Frizzler, which means he's going to have to watch out for the C source here on his end. Alright, we got to run on our headquarters here. One thing I'll say about Frizzler, and probably most of the folks that are good runners, they can sometimes, you don't know it's in their hand, but they can sometimes seem a little conservative in their play. But really, in the core, you can literally, once you get past that opening game, especially against Wayland, where things are kind of detrimental and dangerous, you can really just play pretty conservative to make sure you don't make any false moves to lose the game. Just keep that money up and make them make moves here. So he's up by 4 credits right now. He is going to probably, let's see if Brogue Leader ends up gaining 7 here. Yep, 7. So now Frizzler's in a place where he could easily run. Oh, he's got a treasure card. There we go. Card trashed. He could easily gain $3, be up to 42 credits, and then use a click and crash base to get rid of the tag if he wanted to run on headquarters. He's really, it seems like he's really concerned about credits here. With a click and 5, with a crash base and 5 cards, I would still go ahead and make some moves. I'd probably go check archives, which would basically be a free run. I'd probably go check but headquarters is probably the best move first. Run that headquarters. You just need 1 point. They got to be somewhere. The agendas do. And he's got 2 bad publicity, which means really there's no reason for you not to break that and end up spending 1 credit to gain 3 there on headquarters. Wow, he's got, I mean, how many Scorchers does he have? Let me see something here. He doesn't have any in his discard pile that we can see, so he might have all 3 of them in hand. Unfortunately, it's going to be pretty challenging for him to actually use all 3. All right, we're doing what I said I thought would be probably a good move, and that's going into headquarters. He's up by 1 credit. He can basically spend 1 credit to be even with Brogue Leader, so the C source isn't a factor, and then be able to roll on in here and take a look and see if he gets the win. I'd be surprised with Frizzler being on game point if Brogue Leader put agendas in archives, but let's see. Yep. Oh, there it is. Yep. I mean, it comes to a point, I'm telling you, there is so much agenda flood in Wayland due to all the 1-pointers that you have to run that you almost have to throw some in archives sometimes. So Frizzler went with the thing, I kind of said it there, and he went, did the same thing I was thinking and checked archives, and he found his missing point. My only out was you making a bad mistake. Absolutely, Brogue Leader. That's how I feel almost every time I play Wayland. Once you get past, get into that mid game a little bit, it's pretty much that. Yep. Frizzler knew he had to be careful for the snare and everything. Letting me get a Raven. I wonder what he trashed earlier in that server. It might have been another snare. He might have had a couple of snares there, and he put that one out there and kept one in hand. And then when he trashed it, he was hoping Frizzler thought, okay, maybe the snare ain't there anymore. It could have been what it was. So, all right. Good game by both of you gentlemen. We will probably... Let's read the rest of these comments, like letting me get a Raven counter and not running archives. Oh, yeah. Well, you're wishing for a lot, Brogue Leader, because I can't say that I've ever seen anybody let me put a Data Raven token on there. I wish I could get it one day. It would make my day. But I have not seen somebody choose to take the tag and give me a counter thus far in my existence. So... maybe one day. I'm sure there's some meta out there where that's a reasonable option. Actually, I'm thinking about the tag situation with, I believe the card is, I can't remember what that card's named, but I think that win makes you dead cert for number 1 in the turn, so correct, I'll make the next game. All right, well, at least we'll get to see some more fun. Yep. Good job, Frizzler, for holding it off with your runner. That's all you got to do at this point is just hold that run. You got 2 corp wins, I'm assuming, and pulled that out. So well played on your 2 corp wins with Wayland. So Alright, Frizzler starts off with install, gain a credit here, and then Brogue Leader immediately runs that data headquarters for Data Raven to kind of probe that out. That already makes account siphons a little bit more challenging off the early rips. That's a nicely played Data Raven. Then Brogue Leader ends up drawing a card, and now we have Frizzler just gaining 3 credits that last turn, get his money back up. Brogue Leader is going to draw a card, make a run on R&D to find that it's a barrier breaker. So now we got a Data Raven and an ice wall here protecting headquarters and R&D. Now we got an Armitage code busting out there to gain 2 credits per click. Frizzler ends up installing on server 1 and put something in here, wondering what it could be, with inside job almost certainly imminent. Brogue Leader draws a card. Sneak door beta off the rip. Let's get into headquarters and gain $3 and see what's going on here. Well played. Private security force off the rip. That's a great start. Is the agenda flooded here? We're about to find out. Scorched earth. Nope. He's got the kill combo. Gains another $1 there. Basically returns his sneak door beta cost back to his credit pool and steals an agenda. Frizzler draws a card first click. I wonder what we got in server 1 here. I'm wondering if he's running he's running an upgrade there. Could that be a red herring possibly? I know, right? That's what I said, Brogue Leader. I'm telling you, I'm interested. But honestly, if everybody's running the same deck and you do something different, is he going to really tell him what it is? I thought Hokusai Grid was in, I think Hokusai Grid is not actually in the original core here. I think that's actually in the first 3 cycles, the first 3 data packs of the Genesis cycle, one of them. So I think Frizzler knows that and he's making a joke there. So anyway, let's see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, Brogue Leader knows too. He was ready to get a what's it called, a forfeit for a legal card in play. Go ahead and call it a day, Brogue Leader, I bet. But nope. All is well. Frizzler's made it through the tournament legally. Core deck, 3 copies of any card besides your identity. Alright, so we got Brogue Leader coming out and ready to start attacking. He's ready to start attacking R&D and headquarters each turn. So that means Frizzler's going to need to find an ice, which it doesn't say. I have a feeling he might have not found that ice yet if he's doing all this. Could be some cheeky post-bounty San jank, I guess. Yeah, you're telling me. It sure could be. Alright, so you got him a hostile takeover, puts him back at 10 credits. Credits aren't really an issue for Brogue Leader. He basically gained 3 from running headquarters. Then he'd have easily spend 2 and gain 1 back to get into R&D. So he can pretty much do an R&D lock at this point and see 1 card in headquarters and gain $2 every turn off of that combo. He's going to draw 2 cards and get a decoy out there. He'd rather be safe than sorry. The decoy is the other option for Crash to prevent this Sea Scorched combo or the Posted Bounty Scorched combo. I prefer the Crash Space for the ability to get rid of tags for free, at least 1 tag for free, but definitely decoy has its appeal as well. As soon as a decoy comes out and I'm a Wayland player, I feel the exact same way. If a Crash Space comes out, then I'm gonna have a tough time actually doing anything to the runner. And you could potentially install 2 decoys at once for the same price as the crash base, which basically gives him the time that he would have to pay. He would have to pull off two tags on you, and then tag again to actually get a chance to tag you. So that gives you a whole lot of security. I'll give you that. It definitely, you're like, man, the chance, you see how many times a tag was actually attempted last game? 0. It's really hard to get a tag off in the first place, but you're probably looking at getting 1 to 2 a game, so 2 decoys can just about take care of that tag solution, unless you're messing around with snares on last click or any other number of major blunders that you don't need to take with this Wayland deck. You just need to play it a little bit safe. The only challenge would be if you don't have your infiltration and they double advance something at the beginning of the game. That's probably your most vulnerable point with a runner deck against Wayland, or even against MBN, is them pulling off a breaking news or a posted bounty, and you not having the cards in hand so they can get a scorched earth. And that could be any combination, right? A breaking news that's been installed advanced and left till next turn could easily render you 3 clicks, and if they have 2 scorched in hand, there's almost no way you can survive against that unless you already got that crash space out turn 1. So your first couple of turns you could get got, and there's nothing you can do. But the chance that they have all the pieces of their kill combo is so minuscule. You have no idea. I'd say probably 1 in 40 games do you have everything you need at the beginning of the turn, and you can also have the ice you need and the money you need to get a remote server out there before they account siphon you and pull that combo off, right? So that, I mean, it's just everything would have to go so perfect, and really the runner would have to make a mistake for you to be in that vulnerable situation. At this point, Brogue Leader's pretty much got it locked down, depending if he lets this double advanced card here in server 1 go through. And honestly, he has allowed Frizzler to kind of build this up to the point where he could be vulnerable to any number of combinations, and he's only sitting on 10 credits, so it's a bit risky here. He now has 12 credits. Does he go for the run? It would be nice to have an infiltration right now. I'd probably draw to see if I can get an infiltration, and if not, at some point you got to make that run. Good smart move to have 1 click left over in case it's a data raven here. And also, if this is a ghost branch, you're in trouble anyway, right? But you can prevent one of them. So he's got 1 click left. He'll prevent one. He'll get rid of the other. So that's another smart move. Archer with a ninja. But luckily, he's got a data sucker. So he'll spend 1 to get that streak down to 5. Then spend 7 credits to get that ninja through the archer there. Very nice. 7 credits. He's still sitting on 6. He'll need 2 more to get past any. If this is a ghost branch, he'll need 2 left. He'll be spending 2 here unless he uses another data sucker token, which I probably wouldn't. So 2 credits here to get through the wall of static, and then he's already down to 2 credits too. Does he have enough to res that upgrade there? And he will get 1 back from the Desperado, so he'll have plenty if this is a ghost branch to... a priority requisition. There it is. What do we got here? A carpet troubleshooter. How much did that run him? 0, but he would have had to spend credits to bump something up, and he didn't deem it to be worth it there. So that's 1 influence. Not a big influence cost there to just throw a corporate troubleshooter in to keep people guessing, right? Alright, so server 1 back in. Brogue Leader's at 6 credits. Frizzler's got 4 credits and he gained 2 and did an install. And so now let's see what we're working with here. Frizzler's already in a great place. Brogue Leader's already in a great place here. He's running this runner quite well off the rip. I'm telling you, this is classic runner to Wayland situation most games. Here is just to go ahead and completely wipe them out before they even get set up. It just happens too often. The criminal deck here, there's all sorts of them that are just way too powerful. I could show you probably 4 different deviations of a core criminal deck that could just wreck a Wayland, no problem. As soon as you understand the solution to the Wayland problem, which is 5 cards and either a decoy and a crash space, and don't leave nothing double advanced, right? If you do that, and you get your money, there is almost no way that they can lose as long as you understand the cards that are available to them, right? I mean, the only thing they got is to advance as far as traps is Junebug, Ghost Branch, and Aggressive Secretary. So understanding that and understanding that the only trap they got is a snare, unadvanced, and then having some infiltrations in hand potentially renders you the ability to pretty much play around any of those. You keep 4 cards in hand for a Junebug. You keep an extra click or 2 back for Ghost Branch, and you make sure that really your Aggressive Secretary is the only one that you need that infiltration, or you're going to get got, right? So that is the one challenge that's your most scariest moment, is probably a Aggressive Secretary, a double advance, wondering if that's an Aggressive Secretary, and you know what, you just about got to go with it. You got to go for it a lot of times. All right, we've got a install advance here, right? Nope. He installed a card into archives, and then he advanced a card in server 1 that had been there since last turn, and now Brogue Leader is once again left with the dilemma of wondering, does he have an infiltration? If not, I've probably got to run that double advanced card there. Even though posted bounty, he's almost willing to probably just let that go with let the decoy take care of that at this point. So we'll see. It could be a priority wreck. The question is, did Frizzler just put something really big on archives that he can res with the priority wreck, and hoping that Brogue Leader doesn't want to come in and pay for that? But it can't be a 3. It cannot be a 5-3 there, because he's only got 2 credits at this point. His plan worked. What is your plan? What? Oh, he's got a shipment for the last click. He's so proud of that. That's funny. And it ended up being an ice wall. He just Now that is some funny stuff, because Frizzler's making a major joke there, right? I mean, your priority wrecks, you're looking to go ahead and be able to res something that's worth some value, an archer that causes you an agenda and 4 credits, a toll booth, you know, something Heimdall, something big. And he ended up giving him, I mean, the 3 points is obviously valuable, but it's brutal whenever you're at 0 credits and they've already got 5 agenda points, right? I think Frizzler understands where he's at, and he's won the tournament, and he's pretty much good. Obviously he's trying to win, but he understands he can only do so much against a solid criminal deck with a solid pilot that knows the meta, understands what the corp can do, especially a Wayland deck, and just is able to just play around anything they got. It's just a beautiful display, a perfect example of playing enough games in a small card pool like this. You can eventually solve the puzzle, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, they've released so much content for this game, and Nisi continues to release great content to the point where I don't think you have to worry about playing enough games. If you played enough games to master every card combination that each faction can bring to you, then you are unbelievable and have spent a whole lot of your time in life on Netrunner, I assure you. So I'm just saying that's not really a concern, but it is fun to know that there is a 1 card pool here, the core set that you can really delve into and spend, you know, a reasonable amount of games. We're talking about, maybe depending on the people, maybe they've played a lot of Netrunner, you could easily, for somebody like me, run 100 games of it and really get a good feel for what your opponent's trying to do, and be able to, as the runner, as the criminal and probably anarch, be able to pretty much win almost every time against the corp, right? And it's a cool feeling, even though obviously some would say not the best scenario. But is this an agenda? It is. That's the game. Yep, like I said, there's not a whole lot you can do in that situation with Wayland. As you can see, once you get to the top level and people know what they're doing, you're pretty much looking at runner splits. So well done to both of these players for getting their corp wins early when they weren't at the top, and taking, and even Frizzler I think had to get one when he was at the top. So mad respect to these guys. And just handling business on the runner side, which is what this is all about. Is kind of the opposite of what it was in 2014 at Worlds, where you basically had to win all your corp games and then win a few of your runner games to be at the top cut, right? And so in this case, you got to win those runner games, and you got to win one or two corp games, as you see here, to have a chance to be in the game here. So. Possible, though, I'd expect your SO to be better. Oh yeah, no, I think Frizzler's easily got the win, and I see what he's saying, because Brogue Leader got to play Frizzler, and Frizzler has a really good SOS. Then he's probably dealing with bumping his SOS up, while the other player, Cyberdak, ended up having to play the lowest 12 win player. Because of the highest player plays the lowest player in that bracket, so he ended up playing the lowest 12 player, so that could affect his SOS and give Brogue Leader the win, the second place here. It's just the way the tournament works out. It happened to me in a previous tournament where it was a three-way situation just like this. I played the top guy and split with him, and it ended up moving me to third because the other player ended up playing having a better SOS than me. So top three, though, in I believe a 30. I think there was 32 players in this tournament, and I'm pretty sure we're looking at Frizzler, Brogue Leader, and Cyberdak as the top three. Congratulations to all of y'all. Y'all played a great tournament and put in the work to be at the top on the core set, which is something to be said there. And I appreciate y'all letting me record this and commentate on it, and I look forward to doing this in the future. And hopefully I didn't mumble on too much and say a bunch of uhs, and I'm sure that's all annoying, but hopefully y'all got something out of it. I really started to turn to in the second game and present some sort of outward commentary on the total kind of core set, and just kind of talk about the flow of that, and hopefully that was valuable to some of you newer players, and just something that might be interesting to some of y'all who haven't touched the core set in a long time. And once again, it was a pleasure doing this and watching some great play. And it was a pleasure getting to commentate on it and continue to hopefully get better at commentating. I'm like I said, a bit mumbly, but I'd like to get better at it because I do enjoy it. So anyway, that's it for me. Let me just say